basic. Nobody likes that. Do you like that? Because I don't like that. You know why? Because it's freaking stupid. It probably wouldn't even be that bad. I'm probably just like making all this up in my head. Stupid. I'm a hard worker. I don't even like half of my jobs. All that matters is that I just do not mess this up. Hi, you must be Christina.
Yes, that's me.
Yes, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, I'm just gonna ask you a few standardized questions about why you want your job here at Graybland, what makes you think you're qualified for a job here.
Okay.
Yeah. And all that stuff. Okay, cool. First question. Why did you choose a job here at Graybland?
Well, I chose this job because
Yeah.
I'm a really good people person, and I'm good
Okay.
at talking and at communication, and I think that's really important as a job as a marketing specialist.
Right.
Right.
Okay. And then my second question I have is, I'm sorry, is that a dog in the background?
I think so. I didn't know she was out.
Shut up.
I'm so sorry about this whole little.
I
don't know.
Take care of the dog. Take care of the dog, and we'll come right back. Okay.
I'll go
Okay.
do that.
And that's why I think I should get this job.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now that was my last question for you. And our interview here is done.
All right.
Okay. Let me just write a few things down real quick. Okay. This girl. Delusions. Delusional. Hallucinogenics. Right. Okay. Okay. Interview's done. Okay. All right. So. You're not getting the job. You're not getting the job. It's that simple.
I understand.
And, I have a few critiques, just a few standardized critiques that I have for you personally. How do I say this? You have got to be the absolute most annoying interviewee I've ever had in my career here. Never in my 40 depressing years here at Graybland have I met somebody quite as grating as you. And then you got a dog in the middle of the interview.
I'm sorry about the dog. I thought she was.
What does that say about you as a person? Take a guess.
I'm a dog person?
No. It says that you're dirty.
Oh.
Here at Graybland, we don't mess around, and we don't have time for preppy little people like you. Especially not dog people. Just because you're applying for a job as a marketing specialist, and you come in here with all your little charisma and your little responsibility, hard working on the resume, you think you're gonna get a job here at Graybland?
Yes.
Don't make me laugh for the first time in 30 years.
Okay.
No. You know what that gets you? The boot, okay? And you know what? Let me tell you something else. Just because you're applying as a job as a marketing specialist does not give you the right to be so annoyingly preppy, coming in here, lighting up everything with that god-awful smile. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at a loss. But let me just tell you something to go away with as a critique. I know I meant to keep things professional and all, but I just had to let that out to let you know. Now, before you leave this godforsaken call, let me tell you one thing. When the next time you try and come here, maybe when you learn a few things about the real world, maybe then you'll get a job here at Graybland. But until then, you're out. You're never gonna find yourself a job here, maybe even anywhere. You know what? It serves you right. You can go into your little la-la land, and maybe you'll find some happiness there, because you're not going to find it in the real world, especially not here at Graveland. Good day! Did you find that relatable in any ways? Well, I'm about to explain to you why and show you how to deal with it like a boss. Before any of that can happen, there's something way more important that we need to do. Relax. We just bought this candle today, and I don't even like the color purple. My favorite colors are dark red, black, off-white, dark gray. Never leave it. But for these candles, I'm all the way out the box. Let me just say that. Work with me. There we go. One flame lit. That might be all we get. Hot again. It's burning my fingers. Okay, we're only gonna have one flame for now. Save the other one for later. Yeah. It's not as bright as I thought it would be. There we go. See, that candle really just adds on to the nice environment that I'm going for. Even though my room looks pretty bland from what you're seeing right now, it's very endearing to both of us. Now, you read that title of that video, and you know that I'm in business. I'm not playing around. I'm here to let you know why failure is a good thing, and why you should not be so every time you hear anything about failure or experience it. Before I get into any of that, there are a few things that I need to discuss personally with my loyal 4 viewers who have been dedicated since the beginning that I don't know in real life. I haven't posted in over a year. I could offer you up this vast explanation on what I've been doing within that time, but for 2 reasons I'm not. One reason, which is the number 1 reason that I think should validate a lot of things, I don't owe you anything. And 2, that would probably take up like an hour, maybe like 3 hours and like another video, and I just think it's not worth the time, and that's what my journal is for. So there's that. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to talk about today. Why failure is a good thing. So, section 1. I have what I want to talk about split up into like 4 sections each. So, section 1. Societal pressure to be accepted and succeed. In human nature, what do we all want? What makes us want to get that really good interview? What makes us so eager and anxious in social interactions? Some more so than others. I have the answer to that. The definition of that is acceptance. What is acceptance? Let's hear what Google has to say about that. Acceptance is defined as either 1, the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered, or 2, the action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group. Now, we're going to be really digging deep on that second definition today. I've been reading this book called The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. That book has me in the tightest chokehold, I kid you not. That book, I'm not very far in it yet, but right now I'm hooked. And it explores a lot of topics that I really am glad I'm seeing, like with like psychology and stuff, because like I've read other books on psychology, specifically like dark psychology, but it doesn't get into the nitty-gritty that I'm looking for. That book does. I don't have the book on me right now because it's in my mom's car, because it's in my book bag, and I left it there because I'm not touching that thing until business days. But the really good point that that book brings up is that acceptance is the root of, if not all, human nature, which is natural. We're social creatures, so it's bound to happen. And there's this one thing, this really, really big thing that really enforces and boosts and feeds off of that desire and natural tendency that we all have. And that thing is called society. And I have some bad news for you. We're all a part of it. Now allow me to elaborate a little bit more on what I mean by that. So, by that I mean a few things. Obviously, the first thing that I mean is that we are all a part of this society. Now that is obvious. But the second thing that I really mean by that is that we also fall into its trap, and we also add on into what it's influencing, if that makes sense. And that brings me to my very first official point. Society naturally equates failure to shame, which equals rejection. And let me ask you, what exactly is rejection? The dismissing or refusing of a proposal, idea, etc. AKA the antonym of acceptance. Now, based on what I've already told you, I'm sure you can start seeing where that becomes a problem. So, if failure is so associated with rejection, when by that I mean rejected from that job because you failed the interview, rejected from that play you wanted to be in because you failed the audition, etc., etc. Since failure is associated with rejection, obviously you're going to take a hit because acceptance is the root of human nature, and they're going to clash. You see what I'm getting at here? With that being said, since it clashes so much with human nature, plus being doubled down by as society as a whole, this is going to lead to a human linking that failure to themselves. You know what that leads to? Self-worth dropping faster and lower than the price of gas ever could and may even never will. And this shows up in multiple ways and in multiple places. One of those places is something I am pretty sure you know very well, called school. Yes, the bane of everyone's existence. Memories, good and bad, piling high. Which brings me to my next point. Kids, Miss Monroe.
Oh, hi. What can I do for you?
Can I come in and get my test scores?
Oh, yeah, of course. Let me just look through all these failures. I mean, papers.
Okay. Yeah, I won't be here next week because something came up in the pictures. Okay.
Just a second. Gosh, so many bad scores this time around. I mean, I made sure I had at least one piece of material that we went over in class over this test. I really don't know what happened.
It was a pretty hard test, I'm not gonna lie.
That or the fact that you guys just really don't pay attention in class. Look, here it is. Oh my gosh, I was just looking all over the place. Okay, why won't you be here next week? I mean, you could come to school. That's how you get all that learning that really helps you with those grades, you know?
Well, my cat died. You know, it's been pretty hard on the family and me. But, you know, it's personal. You're not even
it's no wonder I couldn't find your paper and all those bad grades.
Oh, did I do good?
Because you're one of them. I mean, no brainer, I mean.
Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, have fun wherever you're going. But you could be using that time, you know, learning some stuff. It really helps you with those grades, because if you don't, your cat will be the only thing dying, you know. It'll be your chance at a call. English degree too.
What?
Nothing. You have fun now. I'll see you soon.
Hey.
Keep those grades up.
Bye.
Don't fail. All right now. I hate these kids so much. Freaking idiots.
School is a prime example of this ideology. We can see this in failing a class, failing a test, failing school, getting held back. All of those in this like black and white type of thing shows exactly what I'm talking about, and it really reflects in the society how we see failure. It presents itself as this like solid dead end, and it's really black and white. Not a good way of thinking about it at all. But another thing I want to bring up about school is the idea that you're not good at one thing, you're not going to be good at anything else, or that you're not good at anything else either. I want to challenge that idea right here, right now. For example, you could have this one subject that you're just really not good at, and it's not clicking at all. And you look around, and you see everybody else grasping it, understanding it in ways you've seen you never could. So what does that lead to? That leads to you blaming yourself and questioning yourself. You might say, am I stupid? What's wrong with me? Why am I not getting this? Everyone else is. It's simple. It's easy. And like some people might even be excelling it. So now you're going to be like, if that's possible, why can't I even do this? All those types of things and all those negative thinking patterns. But that is the ideology at work. So then you start feeling like you're an idiot. You yourself are stupid, an idiot, dumb, stupid, any synonym for idiotic you can find, you think you're that. And then it makes it even harder to fight against it, because another thing is encouraging that thought. And that thing is the school system itself. So then why do people start associating and tying academic statuses, or really anything that requires cognitive thought, with themselves individually? And the answer to that is because it's said that it reflects something about you, yourself as an individual, as a whole, your identity. Hence why people associate grades and any real status with themselves individually and their self-worth. Which is why when that thing starts deteriorating in value, your self-worth will too, because you tied a knot so tightly to it that it's gonna burn too. This can manifest into insecurity, sometimes so bad that it'll cause you to be a nuisance to be around. But I digress. But one thing people need to realize is just because you're not good at one thing, it doesn't mean you're not good at anything else, or maybe even excelling at anything else. But you really don't even need to be good at anything. But that's an entirely different discussion. Which brings me to section 3. The difference between better and different. Specifically intellectually. Oh my gosh, this is like the best sleepover ever.
Yeah,
that
totally.
dress up game we just did was like so fun.
It was.
But like, I'm kind of hungry now.
Me too.
You know what would be good?
What?
Some hot, spicy, filet, gourmet spice-a-roonies. Oh my gosh, I just love a good pack of those chips. They have a perfect balance of spicy, and they just really burn my tongue.
Really?
And that's how it needs to be, That's how every bag of chips should be.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I really like Yays. I really like Yays. They're so tasty.
You like Yays?
Yeah.
You said Yays?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what those are.
You do?
You mean the, oh gosh, what are they called?
Yays.
Oh, yeah, those boring, plain, and lame, and absolutely bland chips. Those.
What?
Yeah, you like those?
Yes!
Okay.
Gosh, it's better than those.
I'm sorry, but like, Spicerinos are just better.
Oh,
they have everything that those don't have.
Alright. Okay. At least I'm not dying every time I eat.
I can't like stay anymore after that. Like,
no. I just can't get past it. Like, those just suck.
They're so good.
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
Actually, you know what? I might have to kick you out of the sleepover because
there's no need for that.
I can't with this discovery. You just disgust me so much with this.
Here we go.
I really just don't understand.
Of course you don't.
They're just better. They have everything that they're missing. They have spice, flavor, taste, texture. What does your have?
They have
absolutely none of those qualities.
You're wrong. They have love, taste, happiness, comfort.
I actually just think you're wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I really do.
Well, at least I'm not clogging my arteries every time I eat my favorite pair of chips like you are.
See, now you're just being gross.
Oh, really?
Nobody's intestines are getting burned.
That's what you
Gosh, you're such
a what?
You're so boring. No wonder you like them so much. They're just like you. Boring, bland, and plain. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to say that at all. It really just slipped out. I really didn't mean it. There's a pretty well-known theory. Although I don't remember who it's by, it brings up the ideology that there's multiple kinds of intelligence. And it's talked about in this article right here. In the article, it states that, let me find it one quick. How high you score in one category does not necessarily influence how high or low you score in another. Although this theory has been criticized for lack of evidence and fundamentals and whatnot, it still brings up a good point that I'm trying to make. There's multiple things that people can be good at, and being a few low abilities in some other category doesn't take away from the ability in the other one. In short, think of it like this. There's a red ball and there's a blue ball. The red ball is warm and it's good at raising temperature, and the blue ball is cool and it's good at lowering temperature. Neither of them can do what the other one can do, but they're each good at their ability individually. Some may debate with bias and preference on which one is better, but that doesn't take away from the fact that both of them are good at their own ability. Now, on to section 4, our final section of today. How does any of this relate to failure? So with all of this knowledge in mind, apply it to real life situations. You got rejected from that job interview you wanted, your crush didn't like you bad, etc., etc. All of these contain some sort of rejection, which is the polar opposite of acceptance, which we talked about in section 1. But when you apply what I've discussed today, all of this will seem a lot smaller because you'll have a much wider framework to work with. This is because you won't have as much tunnel vision over whatever the situation was, because you'll realize that you can learn from it. And instead of thinking of the whatever situation went wrong as like a bad thing, try and think of it as like a note that you can carry with you for the rest of your life, that you can either 1, bring with you into a different situation and get successful there, or 2, try again with the thing that you failed at. That way you can succeed with a story to tell as well. So it's a win-win situation either way when you think of it like this. And that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this little video essay. It's very new, just like me posting, so get used to new things. Okay. But this was nice. You know, I might do these more often if I ever have the time. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, night, afternoon, whatever time. Now go out there and you make me proud. Yeah, you do that.